This is something that I've made videos about this topic before, as well as lessons. I mention it in my books, but I still see this mistake made all the time by beginners, so I wanted to make a separate video just to highlight it, and that is this: using the object marker together with 있어요, or any variant on this verb, 있다, is 100% wrong and awkward sounding. But first, if you'd like to see more videos, please leave a like or comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, first of all, 있다 can be conjugated to 있어요, and 있다 just means to exist. Like if I'm saying I am at home, literally I'm saying I exist at home. Or maybe my dad is at work. Well, my dad exists at work. If you say I have a lot of money in my pocket, well, you're literally saying there exists a lot of money in my pocket. Anything that exists, anything that is there, is used with 있다. So people will use, beginners I've heard, will use 있어요, so 있다, together with the object marker to say things that they have or things that just exist. For example, this is a sentence actually one of my students made, and I asked her for permission if I could use this, and she said it's okay. 학교 앞에 학생을 있어요. What they were trying to say is, in front of the school, this is correct, so a student exists, or there is a student in front of the school. But they use the object marker with 학생. This is wrong, however, and it should instead be here the subject marker. So 학생이 있어요. There is a student in front of the school. Now, I'm not saying that you can only use the subject marker when you're using 있다. You could use any other marker that makes sense. For example, you could say 학생도 있어요. There is also, or even, a student in front of the school, and that's fine too. But using the object marker with 있다 is fundamentally wrong and sounds wrong. So let's talk about that. 있다 means to exist and nothing else. Technically, it can actually sometimes be used to mean to stay, like you're staying at a location, but that's for another lesson. The object marker can only be used with an action verb, and it's used to show what noun, what word that action verb is doing something to. And the way it works is you'll either attach le after a word that ends in a vowel, or you'll attach after a word that ends with a consonant. And because of this, the object marker can never be used when you're just using a word that's describing something. So if you were to say like to be good, or here, to exist, anything that's just describing something isn't doing any action to something. For example, you could use the action verb 좋아하다, meaning to like. Well, you can like something. You can directly talk about liking something. So you like 김치, 김치를 좋아해요. You can use the object marker whenever there's an action verb. But if you were to just say that kimchi is delicious, well, the verb for to be delicious is 맛있다. Literally, 맛 means flavor, so flavor exists. There is flavor. This is not an action verb, so you're not saying that you are deliciousing the kimchi. You're not doing anything to the kimchi. You're simply saying kimchi is delicious, in which case you could not use the object marker. So then using this, the feeling it has is like you're saying 있어요 a 학생. You are existing a student, like maybe you're doing something to the student. As soon as a native Korean speaker hears the object marker, they're expecting an action verb, some sort of action, something that's affecting the student or whatever word is there. So here it would sound like the verb is doing something to the student. So basically then, don't use the object marker with the verb 있다 in any situation. But then, why does this mistake even get made? That's because when you're naturally translating Korean, anything with 있다 can also naturally translate as to have. This is only when you're translating into English. This never is the meaning of the verb itself. For example, I have money. Literally, money exists, but you can translate it naturally, I have money. But literally, it still only means to exist. Let me give you an example of that. 저는, as for me, 집이 있어요. House exists. As for me, there is a house. This is a natural way of saying things that you have, not things that you're holding in your pockets, but just things that you have in general. So if you were to say 저는 집이 있어요, it literally just means as for me, there is a house. But this is a natural way of saying that I have a house, right? 집이 있어요. So I think this is the reason why many people learn that 있다 means to have, but then they forget that literally it does not mean to have. It only means to exist. So again, never use the object marker with the verb 있다 in any way, and you'll be much better off. So, did you enjoy this video? Would you like to see more like it? Please leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you again in the next lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.